Next, interference in over 30 elections worldwide. An investigation by the Paris-based group of journalists called Forbidden Stories has shone a spotlight on Team Jorge and the 50-year-old Israeli driving these nefarious activities. Laurent Richard joins us in the studio. He's part of the team at Forbidden Stories. Laurent, thank you very much for being with us. Who is the man who's allegedly behind all of this? Tell us about him.
So, officially, he only has a nickname, Jorge. And he made a lot of effort during all the investigation to hide his real name. But at the end of the investigation, with the work of 100 reporters, we finally found out who was the guy, and his name is Tal Hanan. And Tal Hanan is a former Israeli soldier who is leading that very secret cell unit in charge of producing disinformation for higher services. So it's a business that is kind of expensive. When the people from our team, from Radio France and the Arets were infiltrating in an undercover investigation this company, he was asking them to pay 6 million euros to influence an election in Africa.
6 million. Who's paying that kind of money then?
Well, it's so the kind of people who might have 6 million to pay for that might be state actors or big private companies as well. It depends. You can there is a different level of services they can provide you. Then during the infiltration, they were able to show how, for instance, in Kenya, they were able to hack the Telegram account of 3 advisors of the current president, and in real life they were doing that. So it's what is very concerning with our findings in this investigation is how two kind of industry met each other: the industry of the cyber surveillance on one hand, and on the other hand, the industry of the influence. So they are able to do some what we call the hack and leak operation. You do hack someone, you take some content, you transform the content, and then you're going to spread this fake news, this content through many bots, avatars over the internet, and so everybody will believe that it's real information.
Is that the kind of idea behind the smearing of the Red Cross in Burkina Faso in 2020, for instance?
Yeah, the Burkina Faso story is another story with another company. That's another infiltration as well from the same project, for the Story Killers project. It's a story where you have an NGO, the Red Cross, being destabilized and being victimized by that kind of disinformation campaign. And what we were able to see that a company was manipulating some journalists at Valeurs Actuelles, weekly newspapers in France.
That's the far right-leaning one.
Yeah, very far right. And they were publishing an opinion piece pretending, letting the people believe that the Red Cross in Burkina Faso was potentially close to jihadist group over there, which was not true at all. But then, because of that opinion piece published in Valeurs Actuelles, then many noise happened in the country. Many people were talking about that, and it was a real fake news operation.
And briefly, Senegal, the election there too was also manipulated.
What we saw during the investigation that this company in Israel, Team Jorge, was providing a platform called AIMS. And AIMS, it's a kind of army of the dark with 39,000 avatars, bots, people who might have 50, 100 real friends who might post some commentary on Facebook. And some of those avatars were involved in some campaign, including in the Senegal, for instance. So we know as well that this person, Team Jorge, was involved in some election in Nigeria. So he's pretending to be behind more than 30 presidential election. So it's hard to confirm that, of course. So we have to be very careful about that because it's a salesman in the same time. But we were able to find the traces of all these bots.
Laurent Richard, thank you very much indeed. Fascinating investigation there by Forbidden Stories into this very shady Israeli man behind this Team Jorge and its campaign of interference in many political situations across the world. Laurent, thank you very much indeed.